Joe's wearing glasses. What the heck? Look at you.
I used to have like eagle eye 20/20 vision, and I think it's these stupid phones you got propped in front of your face all the time.
It is.
And I got to do more like looking over the landscape of long distances because I think I'm jacking up my eyes pretty good.
Are they cheaters or are they legit cheaters?
They're just a little bit. Remove some of the blurriness.
Okay, so are we on? Are we filming?
We're on. Yeah.
I did check baby 1 2 3. I did the bifocal. Can't see, it's that blind bifocal. Remember back in the day you had that line?
Yeah, right.
So it's good. I could see you, and then when I go like this, it gets a little blurry. So for the phone, if I'm looking up top, it hurts, and then once I go, you have to adjust it. It's weird. And I got contacts. Ironically, same thing. So those are weird. Some contacts, if you get a bifocal, they'll do one regular, one bifocal. And then the optometrist about a year ago when I went said, we have something where it's like the glass, it's cut, so those are weird. So when I'm on my motorcycle, I wear the contacts because I have sunglasses. So if I'm reading a road sign, I have to make sure that I'm looking at the top of the contact. It's very weird with the contacts.
When last time I went to the eye doctor, I said, I'm having trouble with that, like fourth line, like what's going on? And she said, you're 47 years old. That's what's wrong.
Oh my God, son of a gun.
It's just one of those things you got to accept as you age, but I don't really believe that. I think, we do a whole lot to damage our senses, and by the time you're 47, you beat yourself up so bad, you just start feeling the effects of it.
I feel you're 27 in an alternate universe. I mean, which version of Joe do we have today?
I got to tap into that sucker.
So it was recently one of your, and maybe as recent as today, your favorite individuals. I don't want to say he's your favorite, but a dude with freaky hair had a birthday today.
Oh, yeah.
Is it today?
Yeah,
today?
Mr. Einstein.
There he is right there. Yep.
Mr. Einstein, pay homage to my one of my dead mentors.
Was he always one of your dudes?
Oh, yeah. He's one of the first.
Okay.
One of the first that I studied.
What drew you to him? The fact that he had E equals MC squared, relativity, what was it? Just
one of his first examples was a perspective change. We always talk about paradigm changes and forcing yourself to think from a different perspective. He constantly used this analogy of riding on a train traveling at the speed of light. And so he contemplated, like, most of our visual inputs come from light. So if you're going at the speed of light, what would things look like? What would your perspectives be? And I use that philosophy to be able to plug in not just, a train at the speed of light thing, but what if I was an X and then I look at it with those eyes? And it really kind of lets you strategize a little bit different. You hit some things from a different angle when you're not looking at it through the selfish, egotistical eyes of you and what affects you. You're looking at it from things outside of you.
Yeah, he was probably deeper than you. And you're probably one of the deepest people I know. He had inventions as well. I mean, his mind was scientific, but he was just
a
mathematical genius.
So two of my big ones are Nikola Tesla and Einstein.
Okay.
And both of them were not academically sound. They would probably be put in the category of, stupid.
Right.
But math was a natural thing. And I don't ever understand how someone could get math by a natural thing where you could look at things and your brain's automatically computing it without going through your, algebras and your, advanced math courses. But he just knew that naturally.
Right.
And Tesla could build things in his brain and then physically do whatever he rehearsed in his brain without having any engineering. Well, he had engineering training, but at the time that he was rehearsing in his brain, he did not.
Really? So didn't have to write out a graph or a, what's that called when you get a blueprint, if you will. His blueprint was here, and it transferred to, wow. Didn't Einstein, wasn't he socially, not awkward, but I want to say he didn't start talking until he was like 7 or 8 or something like that? Or is that true?
I'm telling you, every one of these people that I study were broken in such weird ways. Tesla fell in love. Nikola Tesla fell in love with a pigeon.
Right.
I
remember you talked about
lots
that.
of compulsions, and if you looked at him from how socially he would have been accepted, Einstein, Steve Jobs,
norm.
all of them had these missing pieces of their regular person being, but in every other way they were advanced.
So that tells me we're gonna make it.
We are.
We're both
We're
kind of
jacked
damaged.
up.
We're just
We're
like
jacked up, so we're genius.
Genius. All right, so happy birthday, Albert Einstein. Rest
yeah.
in peace. There was another birthday recently. I want to say it was March 1st, and it is the great state of Ohio.
Ohio
I want to say we turned
Nice.
221 years old, correct?
Yeah.
1803. It's now 2024, so that's 221
21?
years. I remember when we were having that. Is it bicentennial, right? 200-year bicentennial. I remember all the barns at that time. This was 21 years ago. Were painting the 1803 to 2003. If you still travel, which I do a lot in Ohio, you'll see barns with that painting
Commemorating
1803 to 2003. And I thought 21 years ago, wow, we're 200 years old. What do you think with regards to states and provinces and just countries and nations and time? I mean, is it 200 years? Is it 221 years? Is it 400 years? Is it just someone one day said, this is it, Ohio is the state? Or was that when we became, how does that work with regards
and
to
I think
the real
human
numbers?
beings like things to stay the same.
Okay.
Right? And I don't think they ever can stay the same. We're never done either advancing or destroying. So do I think like the United States or the states will evolve? I mean, Texas secedes from the nation, and that's a game changer.
Right.
California does the same thing, and then we're like, hey, our economy is big enough. We don't need to be a United States anymore. We could just be our own country. So, yeah, it could be that Ohio in 200 years from now might be just blending in with its own thing, or it might be its own damn country. You never know.
It's wild. I was just in New York this week, and one of the buildings I had to go to speak in was in New Jersey. And it always fascinates me with the borders. My hotel was in New York, and then 1 minute away, once I left the hotel, and you're now in New Jersey.
That's right.
And then I was in New York. And on the drive from the hotel to the building, I think I was in New York twice and Jersey twice. It just, whatever road you take, that just amazes me how someone created that border, and how we stick to it and so on.
Yeah,
and so forth.
historically,
It's just
though,
weird.
like when we were...
like the territories.
Yeah, when we were coming over here from, the English were
Right.
divvying up land tracts to people, we got real comfortable with being able to take a segment of land and then say, hey, nobody owns this, so let's give it to XYZ. And so I think we've always created our domains around where we're at. It's nice that, besides over in, Russia and whatever, we're not like trying to seize more land from our neighbors, but maybe one day Ohio, we're like, hey, Michigan, we like this little tract of land around your southern border. We're going to take it from you. And then
Right.
Ohio becomes a little bit bigger. Yeah.
Take it or buy it, or take it.
Yeah.
I mean,
just,
it's Michigan.
we got
It's Michigan.
we got them.
For all our Michigan fans, we don't like you. No. I'm just kidding. So anything fun happened to you this week?
No, it's been, it has been all just like logical spreadsheets, formulas, mathematics, and it's no fun. I'm creatively dead inside when I go through this, but tax time brings that out of you, right?
Right.
It makes you look at numbers and.
You do your own taxes?
No, I have.
Okay, I was going to say. I mean, your brain, I think, probably could, but you go to the experts. That's how I am.
Yeah, for sure.
I have, so I have an older brother, Mike, who lives in Columbus. He's very hands-on. I have an older brother, Steve, who's very hands-on. And I have an older brother, Dave, who is like me, and I learned from him. I have a little bit of all my brothers in me, but I call Dave a yellow pages kind of guy. Something goes wrong or he needs something, light socket, plumbing, calls the experts. And that's how I am. Where my other two brothers will try to do it. Are you more hands-on with regards to something needs fixed, I think I can do it myself, or are you okay to call the experts
Two
yellow
philosophies.
pages?
If
Okay.
I've never done it before, I really want to know it. Even if I don't intend to ever do it a second time, I at least want to have gone through it once.
To try it.
Exactly. So I've jacked up a whole lot of stuff
Okay.
trying
All right.
to be that expert. But after I've learned enough that I want to, learn enough about it that I'm satisfied, then I absolutely put it in a expert's hands.
So it's more of a curiosity thing than
sure.
an egotism thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't like not knowing things. I'm a sponge that way.
Okay.
So if it's like, ooh, a battery replacing in my car. I've never done that before, so I go wrench on it and like, hey, this sucks. I never want to do this again, but I did it once.
Does your car run on AA or AAA?
AAA batteries.
AAA
about
batteries?
9,463
Right,
of them.
that's a lot of batteries. I am seeing more and more EV. I don't want to call them filling stations. What do we call them?
Charging stations.
Charging stations. all over the place when I travel. It's kind of neat. More car companies are coming out with EVs, and it's just kind of neat. So
Yeah, and what gas stations are a good business model, right? You've got travelers, they fill up, they come eat some stuff while their sheet's
Right.
got the perfect thing. So a lot of those fueling stations are going to say we're missing out on the people that need to charge. They're not coming here, so throw up a couple of them, and then because they charge longer. So if you're there 45 minutes when you're
right.
charging cars,
you're having a cup
you're
of
gonna get
coffee,
an
sandwich,
offering.
and something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't see why they have to be separate entities. You should
That's right.
just include them right into the same pump system. I mean, obviously off to the side or wherever, but
But it's very expensive. It's a couple $100,000 to install those charging deals.
Yikes.
Okay, so
Okay.
that investment's pretty more expensive than a fuel pump for sure.
what's the cost on that? So I go fill up my tank. It's $3.05 a gallon. Pump, 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 pump. $50, $60 when I'm done. For an EV filling station, charging station, how do they bill you that?
So two models. You have the Tesla model where they rolled out their charging stations and they took the cost and they built it into the car.
Oh,
right?
boom. It's already
and so,
paid
like,
for.
my car is I just charge it when I fill
Has to be a Tesla, though.
Has to be a charging
okay.
station.
Okay.
There's some cars that they cut the charging fees out of once they had a big enough network.
Okay.
And now they pay about a quarter of what you would pay for gas. So you go fill up, it's like $6 to fill it
Okay.
up. Now, the non-Tesla chargers, they are trying to make it parity with fuel. So they're adjusting the price they charge based on if you would have filled up with gas, it's going to be about the same. They're kind of ripping the advantage out.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, that's no advantage.
There's no advantage.
Can a non-Tesla EV vehicle use a Tesla charging station?
Some manufacturers, I think Ford and maybe some Chevy. I don't know.
Is
So
it
there's
literally
some,
like the plug?
Yeah, they give a little converter plug.
An Android compared to an Apple, we have different.
Yeah, exactly.
Although the new Apple 15 actually uses the same as this Android.
Yeah, love it.
Which I thought, though, so Apple, again, Apple, Android, whatever you use, they're always wanting you to buy something new. So they get a new phone, new charger. But I think they're losing out on this one because not as many people have Androids. I get it. But my kids, I got them each the iPhone 15, right? Oh, we need a new charger. Not really, because Dad has a charger in his car and a few extra ones that are actually for this phone, Android, but they fit the new iPhone 15. So where I would have in the past went and bought 2 new chargers for them, I didn't because they can plug into mine. I thought that was a mistake on Apple's part, and I hope they're not listening because I don't want them to go out and jack it up. But do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what I did, and they kind of saw this coming, where I have a magnetic charger. Right?
Okay.
So it has a cord and
We
it
have
has
a
little
magnetic
piece.
personality.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So in your phone, you just put the other side of the magnet, and then every cord you just plug it in, and it.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah, so you don't have to have a different one for every phone. You have one cord in the car, and then you just keep that thing in the bottom of your phone, plug it in.
That
and
little
you're good to go.
adapter.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. You posted something, and I wanted to chat about, I think it was called Pastimes, with regards to an old school video game place in Girard with pinball.
I love.
How is that?
So first, before we get there, like
Okay.
the recycling of our interests over a period of time, you know how like fashion goes out, but then it comes back in.
Yeah.
Movie reboots happen on a regular
Correct.
basis. We just love the nostalgia of what we grew up with or what we had before, so that like once it goes away, like I no doubt skateboarding will come back around.
Right.
You know
okay.
what I mean?
Okay.
It'll always
and,
have
and
those,
bicycles and the pegs and all that stuff. will
yeah.
come back.
I'll
Okay.
be pegging my pants too here before long.
Oh shit!
You remember that?
Yeah, pegging the pants with the penny loafers. Yeah, we peg the pants.
No doubt.
Right.
So I don't really think that there can be too many new ideas before we get attracted to what we had before. Get
The
supreme
nostalgia
interest.
of
Like
it.
if you brought the NES system, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and booted up Mario Brothers, how much you're not gonna be as good as you were probably when you played it, but how much of that stuff is gonna be like, oh, I totally forgot about it, and still be able to wheel through those
Right,
things.
and remember the different secret passages and stuff.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this before. I was never a huge gamer. The only gaming system I had was Atari. That was it. My best friend Bob Murphy had Nintendo, so that was good enough for me. I went to his house and played Ice Climber and Mario and all those games.
Yeah.
But I do like those old school arcade games. So my one buddy, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, opened up the old Fun and Games again. He put it on Market Street. I'm not sure if you're
Yeah.
familiar with it across across from Coca's Pizza. Steve Karimsky, shout out to you. He's a good friend of mine, and him and his partner opened that up, and I thought that was kind of neat. It was like the old Fun and Pizza that used to be in the plaza. Do you remember that when we were young?
I do.
What was your go-to video game that you actually had to put a quarter into to play?
Paperboy was mine.
What the hell is that?
It's an arcade game. It's not.
What?
It's not a mechanical. It's not like pinball.
Okay.
Paperboy.
It's literally
a video game. A big
box video. Paperboy.
Paperboy.
Explain the concept of Paperboy. I'm assuming you're delivering papers.
It was
to
silliness.
people.
it was total silliness. You're a paperboy. You use the paper, and you have all these obstacles, and you break windows and throw it at people, and yeah.
That was your game.
That was my game.
High score.
High
Joe
score.
Daniel all the time.
Well, I think it's because like when I was a kid, my babysitter bowled, right?
Okay.
And in the arcade, they only had a couple of games, and
Right.
one of those games was Paperboy. It's like, here's some 20 quarters.
Go play.
Paperboy. And so Paperboy became my thing.
That was always cool when you went to a place like that with a family member or a friend or a babysitter, and there was that one or two video games. Even like Pizza Hut, when you were a kid, you went, there was that one or two video games. That was always neat. So my go-to, want to take a guess?
Well, you liked Atari, so I'm going to say Asteroids.
Good guess.
I don't know. Tell me.
Galaga.
Galaga. So close.
Galaga.
So close.
When those two ships would come down, and there are certain machines I played Galaga all over the country, and I got finally one machine, maybe two in my lifetime, where the fire button was so fast that it was unbelievable, and I went through and flipped it, and I got to stage 38, 39, 34, and it went back to, I couldn't believe it, back to the beginning. So I walked away. I remember I was at a Pizza Hut somewhere, and my kids were young, and I said, "Oh my God, there's a Galaga," and it's like an hour goes by, and they're like, "Can we go yet?" I'm like, "No, wait."
Yeah.
Eat your
well,
pizza.
and that's the thing. Like that industry was everywhere. Like you go to the mall, there was always an arcade. Carnivals come to town, that's always an arcade.
I read
and now like you're pressed to find one
Correct.
besides these.
I like that. So pastime, shout out to you guys. Fun and games, shout out to you. I read that when Pac-Man came out, I want to say, and I don't know if this is an accurate number, you can fact check me, it made, I don't know, 400 million or 4 billion. Now, that's a big difference between the two. In quarters, the year it came out in 1980-something, in the arcades. In quarters.
That is crazy.
Right? I thought that was nuts. When Pac-Man
and then there was cartoons, and then there was a movie, and there's plushies. Like the whole thing was an
Pac-Man
amazing
was awesome.
brand.
It really was. Okay.
Hit me.
This was interesting. Something you posted. By the way, Joe posts every now and then. But before
Hey, I've taken a break for a couple weeks. You got to notice.
I know. I got no more shit to say because I'm like, this guy.
He's going back to when
got
I was
nothing,
a kid.
right?
And he was like, "You got your braces off."
Before we talk about this, let's talk about something cool.
Yes.
Is happening on May 9th.
May 9th. Let's see. What could be happening? Is it Easter? No, that's
No.
April. Joe and Blasko
Joe
on
and Blasko
stage.
Show, folks. May 9th, DeYor. It is the Joe and Blasko Show. Sam Blasko, who is a wonderful singer-songwriter, will be opening up the act. She'll be on stage playing. We're going to wheel Joe out. He's going to do his thing. I'm going to come out. Joe and I are going to do a little thing together. We're going to have a little intermission. Then we're going to come back and close the evening with a little Blasko. But it is going to be... Tell us about it, Joe. What is it? Is it motivation? Is it information? Is it inspiration?
It is motivation and inspiration.
Right.
We want to send people off. People come to these things because they want to be inspired. Like they want some new perspective and new information. And so I want people, when they leave there, to be on fire, to go try something new or drill back into something they're already doing. And that's my goal.
Good. Our goal is to make you feel good about who you are and what you do.
For sure.
And if you can be a little bit better after hearing us, that's
Amen.
a beautiful thing. All right. You posted something with regard, and I already know your answer. There will be a time in the future you'll have a choice to enter information, I'm assuming into our brains, slow or fast. Digital versus analog. Number 1, watch a movie with analog visual and audio translations, 1 hour, 45 minutes. Or 2, digitally process a movie, 1 second.
Instantly.
Okay. I know you're going to choose that. Yes or no?
It's a little bit more efficient, right?
I know, but you're... Okay, let's talk about this. You're going to miss the whole experience. But you're not,
Tell me
I
about
guess,
the
'cause
missing
you're gonna,
parts. Tell me about the missing
Okay,
parts.
ready?
Yeah.
Eating popcorn.
Okay.
Laughing, laughing with someone next to you.
Okay.
So those tangible things that you actually are on the couch, you're getting excited, you're getting the microwave popcorn, you're getting the Doritos, you're getting the beer, you're getting whatever, the conversations, the pausing. See, to me, a movie, whether it's on TV or in the theater, I think there should be intermission in the theater.
All right, so
you're going to lose that.
Out of all of the movies and television you watch,
Yes.
how many of those are you doing for that enjoyment? And how many of those could you really have just, like, you watch a terrible movie and you didn't enjoy it?
Okay. That's a
and you
good point.
invested
Okay,
2
so
hours?
maybe for those, we could pop them into our...
Right.
Okay.
So you have both.
All
You
right.
have the option to
Okay,
do
you
both.
opened my mind.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay.
You go to school and watch a Civil War documentary that's 4 hours long, right?
Right.
You're not really going to enjoy it. There's no
Zap
popcorn. Zap it in. You're done.
How would they? I mean, how can they? How can your brain even process that though? Like if it's only 5 seconds, you got the whole movie. You got the. I mean, how does that? How would that work realistically?
So we use our analog senses
Okay.
to input, process through our brains, and then put it in our brain as an overall feeling or new information or a memory or whatever, right? So you profile all the things that happen. You take me, expose me to no new stimulus,
Okay.
right? And then have me watch a movie. And then the differences in my brain between before the movie and after the movie,
Okay.
I can take that profile and then put that same profile into your brain. Now you will have had the same experience and memories and whatever, right, without having to sit through the movie.
That's wild.
So what they're, and it's early on, so that's not even a reality right now. But
Okay.
here's what they're doing with pigs. There's actually a company called Neuralink.
okay.
All right, they're taking a pig, and they're putting these electrodes on its brain.
Okay.
Then they're feeding it something. And they're mapping what happens in the pig's brain as a profile. And they can compare the pre-profile and the after-profile. They're looking at what parts of the brain actually accepted the information, what it did with that. And then they're taking that profile and moving it to another pig. That's and seeing if they can get the same response
From this
the
pig
that
who didn't
eat.
experience it but got. Oh.
That's the birth of this philosophy, or not philosophy, but birth
You know
of
what
this
the best
innovation.
thing about that experiment is? The bacon afterward. I mean,
Smarter bacon, less
the bacon.
time.
We love the pigs. We're going to use them scientifically, but
So
the bacon.
here's
That's
sort of like the
interesting.
pushback.
It's
So
not Pavlov's dogs. It's totally different.
are you
than that.
are you a health nut? Do you do
No.
a lot? Okay. So let's pretend you were.
Okay.
Okay. You have the option of eating all of the food, right? Every food that you need.
Okay.
You eat your meats. You eat the proper fruits, vegetables, vitamins, minerals, everything that you need to be able to
Grain.
survive. Or I'm going to give you, like, know exactly what in that was necessary and what was not necessary. Or I'm going to take that and I'm just going to put it into your blood, right? Just
Okay.
the stuff that you
Okay.
actually needed. Supplement. You don't have to go through the chewing process.
Okay.
You don't have to do the digestion process. What would happen to your body if I just gave you what you needed in the blood? What would die?
I don't know.
You wouldn't digest anything anymore, so you wouldn't need a
Oh,
stomach. The stomach
okay.
would start to
what
say,
would die and like literally be
it
not
would
useful
right.
anymore? Oh,
and
okay.
so like
okay.
the gastric secretions
Holy
wouldn't be
camoli,
necessary.
okay.
So there is a piece of you when it's not needed that the body will then get rid of to save energy and resources and put it in whatever. We will evolve our species if we change the way that we process things incoming, and that includes information. So what pieces of would die? Like you wouldn't need eyes anymore, right? Your eyes, if you're not taking visual information,
Okay.
unless you did that hybrid where you still take some stuff. You watch some movies,
Right.
but also you can input or download others.
See, I'd be hybrid because I want that experience of physically going to my couch or to a theater and experiencing it. That's me. But
Oh, okay. So here's your option.
it's pick or choose. But I can pick or choose.
So
I don't have to do
if
it
I
all
could
the
give
time.
you one pill per day that would satisfy all your nutritional needs for the day, you take it, your body's still in there, you take it and you could skip all of that eating time that's wasting your day.
Don't they have some pills like that already?
They do.
Body by Nature,
Probably
whatever.
not
I mean,
good.
there's
Probably-
some of those vitamins are supposed to supplement some of the things that you don't get enough of. Correct?
Supplements, yes. But I'm talking
supplements.
everything.
You're talking
Like,
literally
if you said
legit.
I'm a 170-pound person and I want to
Right.
stay 170,
And I need
it
this.
formulates the pill. It gives you exactly enough calories.
I take
to
it. I
fuel
take it. I
You
probably
take
would
it?
take the pill. I would.
Okay, sitting in traffic. If you could transport to another
F
spot,
that. Yeah. Transport me.
transport. So you buy into the innovation, like
Partly
in
I
every other
do.
way.
Partly I
anything
do.
that's inefficient, we can make more efficient.
But
by
again,
this.
but I want the choice because even though it's to me, 90%, probably 95% of the time I eat is to sustain my life, to just keep me going. There's that 5% where I want a nice meal, I want to sit down and relax, nice view of the water, wherever, or whatever, and I want to experience the whole dining atmosphere. It's almost like watching the movie. Either boom, popped in, or I'm sitting on the couch eating popcorn, talking to a friend. So I think with the nutrients and things, I would miss out on the dining experience. Even though it would be faster and quicker and I'd still get what I need, I like the human side of physically going to a place. You like that too? Yes?
Yeah.
No?
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
right.
And there's, like I said, there are times.
So you
that I
wouldn't be
think
100%?
No.
Okay.
Just the ones that are inefficient. Like if you got an 8-hour drive, there's nothing going on. You're not going to be enjoying some podcast. You want to just get there.
Oh, dude, I would teleport. I mean,
100%.
I drive to New York almost every other week. And I love it because I'm tired of flying because it takes 6-7 hours to fly nowadays, and I can make it to New York in 7 hours.
All right. The second half of this question.
Okay.
So let's just say you free up time. Like you used to mow your grass. Now you pay someone to do it.
Okay.
So now you have a half hour once a week in your day.
Okay.
Reinvesting it in something rather than squandering the time you just saved it. Because we're going to become a more efficient people. And when we can skip the things like eating, driving, learning, watching movies, what do you think you and everybody else will do with that extra time? Do you think it'll be a destructive
That is a
investment,
great
or do you think
question.
it will be a beneficial?
I would like to say people would engage in more hobbies that they enjoy or doing things that they enjoy, whether it's painting or hiking or walking or RVing. I would think the stress would be reduced with regards to how we feel because, you know, I got to get home in time before it gets dark, or I have to get home before it rains so I can cut the grass. Not having to worry about that would be a nice thing. What I would do with the extra time,
Well, let me give you one more perspective on it.
I'd golf.
A
ahead.
lot of people, once they retire from work, they lose their
Oh,
purpose and
right.
they die super fast,
Right,
right?
right.
Because they get out of their mode. They don't say, I'm still going to get up at 6:30, and rather than go to a job, I'm going to go to my interests, right? They change it, they do less, they walk less, they get engaged less. So as much as someone might hate their job and going every day, it's keeping them healthy because it's giving them a sense of purpose
It's
and
a good
and meaning.
routine. Right. What would you do with your extra time?
Oh, I have such a long list of things I want to do that I'm not getting to yet.
Okay. Are they hobby things or things you want to visit? And like, I want to visit Mount
It's
Rushmore.
more, it's more the stuff I want to know. I just don't have enough time to learn and practice and experiment and whatever. So I could probably live to 300
Okay.
and still not get done with the
All
list
the
that I want to
stuff.
hit.
The mind of Joe Danyi. It's fascinating. Okay, I'm done on my end.
All right, next week.
Boom.